Hello and welcome to the Indie Designer Journal episode 3. I'm very excited that you're all back to watch this video. Today we're going to be looking again at combat mechanic. We've honed in on that dice pool system in the last episode, and I made a few changes because we ran into obviously a couple of problems with it. And we're going to turn the camera around here in a minute or so and actually watch a combat again with the few changes that I made, and hopefully it moves and works a little bit more smoothly. While building up to filming this episode, I started thinking about being open and sharing the whole process of designing a game. So this combat system that we're working on right now, in the last 3 episodes we sort of touched upon it in different ways, is for an upcoming game that I'm going to be working on called UnderQuest. Well, not going to be working on, I'm actually working on it now. And I started thinking about the whole process of being open and sharing everything with those people that follow me in social media or whatnot. And the thing that came to my mind is how often we see people just getting into this field of designing that are want to be secretive and ask questions on Facebook or other social media groups about getting trademarks and copywriting and all these things. They're very secretive about their process. They think they have some sort of $1 million idea and that they're gonna sell millions and millions of copies of their games. Now, for some people that might be the case, but for the vast majority of designers that I know, we're open with what we have, our ideas. I mean, I go to protospiels and, you're sharing the ideas with other designers, getting feedback. There's no idea out there that's really that innovative. I mean, yes, we see some games come out once in a while that have some new system that, kind of blows everyone's mind away. But for the most part, most of those designs aren't secret while they're being designed. They're being tested with large groups of people. So the idea or notion that you need to keep your idea a secret, I think, is foolish, because you're losing that feedback, that valuable feedback that you're going to get from people. That's why I'm making these videos, because I want to share this experience with those people who are interested, and I'm getting good feedback from people. That's valuable to me. And in the process, I'm also exposing a new game to other people. So it's a win-win situation. So maybe in a future episode, we'll discuss more in detail my thoughts on copyright and trademark. I've never trademarked anything, just to be open with it. I don't think there's a need for it. I mean, for some things for sure, but like even the Grey Gnome logo, I'm not going to trademark that. If someone were to take the Grey Gnome logo and start making their own games, I'm pretty sure that the board game society of folks in the board game community are not gonna go for that. So everyone usually has each other's backs in this community, so I'm not too worried about it. Anyways, I want to look at this mechanic, and then I also got a little delivery from the Game Crafter of some really cool 3 solo games that I purchased from other indie designers that hopefully in maybe future videos we'll take a look at some of the things I like about them. So let's take a look at how this mechanic works. Hello and welcome back to the table. Today we're going to be having Barnock the Twisted, who is our character, battle off against the Bone Collector. You may be able to tell that I have a little bit of a cold. I'm kind of coming to the end of the cold here, so there's a potential for me to cough, so I apologize ahead of time. Both have 20 health like last time, so if you're not familiar with this system, we kind of went over it pretty in depth in the last episode, but obviously there were some issues, so we made some changes. Essentially, we're going to be spending energy to roll a number of dice. Anytime we roll a 5, it's a success. A 6 is also a success, but allows us to re-roll the dice to see if we get another success, and you can continue to re-roll as long as you roll a 6. So basically, we have an exploding dice situation. For every success we get, we do damage, depending upon what our weapon tells us. So for 2 successes with our old blade, we do 2 damage. If we roll a lot of 1s, that's not good. 1s are considered blunders. So if we get 3, so we'd have to be rolling at least 3 dice, obviously, or more. There's the potential to break your weapon. So thematically, like I said in the last episode, I think that makes a lot of sense. So if you're going for a really difficult or a really hard hit, the potential to break your weapon is greater. We have a buckler here as our other item. we have 3 uses for the buckler. It allows us to remove 2 damage from an attack. We have our hit locations here. These are our defense for each of those different locations. We have our abilities here, brawn, agility, and mind, which will be used in the game for all sorts of things, but for the purposes of this little run through here, basically brawn is going to tell us how many dice we can add to our attack. Now in this system, we'll always be able to roll 1 dice, unlike Iron Helm or Desolate, where you actually had to spend energy to roll the dice. If you didn't have any energy, you only got to do 1 damage. In this system, you'll always be able to roll at least 1 dice. Additional energy spent will allow you to add more dice to your pool. Agility here tells us that we have agility of 3. It tells us we can adjust our hit location of the enemy by 1 or 2. By 2 up or down. So if we're hitting the bone collector and we roll a 5, we can adjust that roll up or down by 2. So if we rolled a 5, we could come down 2 and go to the head for 3, because 1, 2, and 3 are his head. And those are the locations of this monster, which are prone. What's really nice about this system is that it's going to allow me to make all sorts of enemies of different sizes and shapes, and allow for certain areas of them to be more prone than others, and certain areas harder to hit. It's really going to, I think, add a lot of tactical aspect to the combat system. Lastly, on our character, we have grit. Every time we sustain damage, we gain 1 grit. Grit, for now, is tied to your character's mind. We have a mind of 2, which means we can only have a total of 2 grit. So when we gain a grit, we can then spend it later when we roll our attacks to re-roll a single die. Now back to the bone collector. Let's see what he's got here. He also has 20 health. And I took a lot of feedback. This is why I'm doing this, is to gain feedback from you folks. And one of the suggestions was, as the enemy's health reduces, so does the number of dice he gets to roll. Because if you watch the previous episode, he got to keep rolling 3 dice after 3 dice after 3 dice, and he pretty much pinned us into a corner. So in this scenario, from 12 to 20 health, he gets to roll all 3 of his dice, potentially 4 if he gets a certain power. You'll see that in a minute. And as his health goes or reduces, the number of dice he gets to roll also reduces, sort of simulating him getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Now, what's also nice about this is this could be flipped on its head for a certain enemy. We could have an enemy that starts off super weak, and the less and less life he gets, the more dice he gets to roll. So there's a lot of cool things we can do by just making a few twists and tweaks to this system. Also, at the end of each combat round, we get to roll for the reaction of the enemy. He could flee, he could go into a rage, and he could become overconfident. Over here I have a little cheat sheet. So eventually when the game does come out, there will be some sort of reference card with either icons for each different types of effect, or, because there's going to be poison and fear and things of that nature. And there'll be a little cheat sheet that tells you how all of them work. So we have one of those here, and we'll kind of go over those as those things happen. I kind of want to get into this combat. One other thing that's changed is, before, I think we started with 12 energy, so I'm going to have us start with 12 energy again. And I really started thinking about this because we blasted through all our energy pretty quickly. And this has been sort of an issue with Iron Helm and even Tin Helm, or all of my games that use this somewhat similar system, is that energy becomes very difficult to get. And what we saw in the last combat is I blew through all my energy. I got a few good hits in, but not very many. And the bone collector looked like he was going to get the upper hand, because we basically ran out of energy, and we knew at that point he was going to continue to get to roll 3 dice. Well, now we get to see that that's going to change, because as he gets hit, hopefully that's going to get reduced. But what I decided with energy, and we're going to see how this works long term, but for this round, for this little playthrough, we're going to run through the energy to spend it the same way as we did before. But the idea is that at the end of a combat, you're going to be able to gain either all your energy back, or a certain amount of your energy back based on your character's one of their stats or something. So I haven't quite figured that out yet. So I just wanted to bring that up so people understand that if this is how the game ends up being and you have 12 energy and you blow through all 12 energy in one combat, you might be thinking, well, I've played Iron Helm. That means that I'm going to be completely destroyed the next combat I get into. I think energy is going to work differently now, and I think energy is going to replenish more on its own a little bit quicker, and you have to be more concerned about getting your health back up. And you'll be able to use consumables during combat, potions and whatnot, to give yourself more energy, and there'll be all sorts of skills and things like that that'll allow your energy to get boosted. But for now, we're going to have 12 energy, and we're going to spend it. Hopefully it's enough to get us through this round. So I'm sort of feel like energy, sort of like you're going into the combat, you have this much energy, and if you can't kill this enemy with this much energy, you're going to die. And I think thematically that makes sense. And then if you do defeat the enemy and you've spent all your energy, or you're down to 1 or 2 energy, it makes sense that your character would rest before continuing on, at least a little bit. So I'll have to work on that on the back end of this, but for now, I sort of like the idea or notion that you go into a combat with this energy and you're going to get to spend all of it if you need to. So let's begin combat. We're going to assume once again that I have initiative, so I get to go first. So I am going to, once again, as I did last time, spend 3 energy to try to get a real nice strong hit right off the bat. So 3 energy spent, 3 energy gone. That means I get to roll 4 dice, because I get 1 dice for free and I'm spending 3 energy, so it's 3 more dice, so that's 4. We're looking for 5s and 6s, and I got 1 6. The rest is garbage. Nothing was bad though, no ones, no blunders. So I get to re-roll this again. Hopefully we get another success, and we don't. So we end up with 1 success, which does 2 damage. Let's figure out where we hit him. Hit location is a 1. I should have rolled that in there, but that's good. We're not going to make any adjustment to it. We could move it up or down too, but we're not going to. We're going to leave it in the head, because head is prone, which means we get to do 3 extra damage. So the 2 and the 3 is 5 damage. So that is a much better way to start this battle. He's down to 15. Okay, now it is his turn to attack. Since he is at 15, he still gets to roll 3 dice. Okay, let's see what he does. Oh, of course he does. Of course he gets 1 2 success and a exploding success. So he gets a total of 3, because that's a 4. Okay, so he has 3 successes because he had 2 5s to begin with and the 6. He re-rolled the 6 and got a 4, so that doesn't count. So 3 successes. What does 3 successes? We go to his damage chart here. So this was a little different. So this damage chart will tell us 2 is 1, is if he had 1 success. This would be 2 successes. He had 3 successes, so this jerk does 8 damage, and he inflicts F, which is fair. Will probably be icons or something to make it a little easier for us when we're actually the final game is released. So fair means I have to do a mind check, my character. If I fail, then my next round of combat costs me 1 extra energy to do damage. So if I want to spend energy to do extra damage, I have to spend 1 more. So let's see. I'm going to do a mind check real quick here. So to do a mind check, you just roll a 6-sided dice. You have to roll your mind or less. It's the same for an agility check or a brawn check. Just a simple, very traditional tabletop RPG mechanic there. So let's roll. We're looking for a 1 or a 2. I guess I'll roll it in the dice tray since we have it out. And I got a 4, of course. So that means next round I'm gonna have to spend more energy to do my attack, which is fantastic. Plus, let's not forget he did 8 damage. Let's see where he hits us. We're hoping he actually hits us in the head, because our character apparently has good armor on their head. I keep rolling down here. I want to roll down here for some reason. So I rolled a 5. 5 means he hit me in the torso. I have 1 defense in the torso, which means that 8 that he hit us for, that is a lot of damage. That might be too much damage, but hey, that's a big hit. So 8 becomes 7. He does 7 damage to us. We're down to 13. So right out the bat, we're swinging at each other and hitting That's a little different than last time. We had quite a few whiffs from our end. So now this time, I get to my 1 dice. Oh, we need to see how the enemy reacts. Let's not forget that, Jason. So let's see how the enemy reacts. Here's his reaction chart. Does he have less than half his health? No. He has more than half his health, or has half his health or more. So we need to roll and refer to this. You just roll a simple 6-sided dice, see what happens. 4, nothing happens. Okay, last game he got overconfident. So now we're moving to the beginning of the next round of combat. Let's see, I'm going to spend 3 energy again. 3 energy now, though, is only going to allow me to roll 3 total dice. I get 1 dice to begin with, and I have to spend 1 energy extra to do my to get my extra dice. So if I spend 3 energy, I only get 2 dice this round because of that, the effect of being in fear. Thematically, it makes sense. I'm stumbling for my weapon. I'm just, maybe I'm shaking. I'm a little scared. So I'm rolling 3 dice. Let's hope we can do really well here. I could really use a nice hit. Oh, there's a good one. Okay, so I get a success and an exploding success. So we have 2 successes. Let's see if we can get another one. Oh, another exploding. So now that is 3 successes. And nope. So 3 successes. Now this is working out nice for us. 3 successes with our old blade is 7 damage. Let's see where we hit this big fella. In the 8. Let's see here. If we go up 2 or down 2, we're still hitting the torso, because torso is 6 to 10. So it doesn't matter what we do, we're still hitting him there. He has 2 defense. So let's see here. So 2 defense minus the damage that I did of 7 is 5 damage. He's down to 10. Okay, this seems to be moving a lot better than last time. I kind of like the damage, how it's working out. Let's keep moving on here. Now we need to check how many dice does he get to roll. See, now his health is at 10, so he is in the 6 to 11 category. He only gets to roll 2 dice to attack us now. I really, really, really like that suggestion, and it's definitely going to be part of the game. Oh, he gets a single success. Single success, let's see here. And that changes as he gets weaker. Not only does he roll less dice, his attacks sort of change here. Even his max hit now is only going to be 6. So he only hit me for 1, does 2 damage. We're hoping he hits us in the head because we'll block all of it. He hit us in the 10, which is the arm. Okay, we have no defense there, so he does 2 damage, but I'm going to use my buckler here. Thematically, it makes sense. He hit me in the arm. Maybe I just blocked it with my buckler. I could have done that last round as well, I suppose. But no damage is taken by us. Let's see if we can actually kill this guy. Oh, now we need to check to see what his reaction is. Now he is still at half life or more, because he's at 10. He gets a 5. Nothing happens. Okay, we'll take that. So now it's our turn to go, and now I'm going to spend 3 energy again to try to knock this guy out. Now I'm already seeing something here. If energy replenishes completely after a combat, then people are going to really, unless I can balance this out a little bit, there might have to be some adjustment made to the energy, but I think this is working much better. So as far as it regenerating completely after the round, maybe it goes back to a certain point and you're gonna have to find a camp or do something to get that energy back up. Okay, so I get to roll 4 dice because I spent 3 energy. Let's see if we can knock this guy out here. Oh my. Oh wait, we haven't been doing something, and I'm gonna utilize it now because we did take 1 hit for damage, so we should have a grit. So I'm going to spend that grit now and get to reroll 1 dice. That last round, since I used my buckler to negate all damage, I would assume, I'm pretty certain that's how it's going to play out in the long run, that I don't get a grit for that. So, and I rolled a 4 again anyway. So wasted the grit and I got 0. So there was a whiff there. Now it's his turn to attack us. Still at 10, he rolls 2 dice. He gets 0 successes. Okay, we both missed at each other. Let's see how he reacts. End of the round. 4 is nothing. No reaction from him. Okay. Now we're back to this round. So this could get interesting here. Now I'm about to run out of energy. So there's 3 more energy. We need a big hit here to try to kill this guy. And I got a exploding hit. Hopefully we get a 5 or a 6 there. That'd be really nice. Oh, we got a 5. So that's 2 successes. 2 successes is 4 damage. Let's hope we hit him in the head. Oh, a 12. Okay, so we get a 12, but we get to adjust our target up or down up to 2. So it rolls over. So I could go from 12, here's a 12-sided dice, to 1. And that's what I'm going to do, or I can go to up to 2 if I wanted to. But in either case, it's a prone location of this character. So I do the 2 successes, 4 damage, plus the extra 3 damage because he's prone in his head, for a total of 7 damage. So now the Bone Collector is down to 3. Now he's really in trouble. And now it is his turn to attack us. And that worked out very well in timing, as far as timing is concerned, because we are now out of energy. So we're both kind of limping into this, and which I think this is a pretty decent amount of back and forth. And Iron Helm combat for most enemies was 1 round, sometimes 2 rounds. Bosses maybe 3 rounds. I want there to be a little bit more back and forth. I don't want it to take I don't want to take it a lot longer, but as you can see, once the player got good at this, I think combat would maybe 4 or 5 rounds with most enemies, and it would be a lot more engaging. Anyways, back to him. He's attacking us. He has less than 5, so he only gets to roll 1 dice. And that's not even in the thing. And he rolls a 1. Perfect. Now we could add things on here too for him if he rolls prones. There's so many things we can do with this system. I'm very excited about it. Okay, so he misses. Okay, so it's the end of the round. Let's see how the Bone Collector reacts. He rolls a 1. He's going to attempt to flee. If he gets away, we don't get any treasure or any experience for the battle, so we don't want that. So we get to 1 last attack at him, and a 4, 5, or 6 count as a success. Unfortunately, we don't have any energy to spend, so we're hoping that we get a success here, and we don't. So the Bone Collector escapes this combat from us. So as you can see, the system seems to work a lot better than it did last time. There's so many little things that we can adjust up and down to make each enemy feel very unique, and every battle a lot more tactical. A few adjustments maybe to how the energy works. Also, a big thanks to the idea of the enemy's ability to roll dice to reduce as he gets hurt. So there's so much going on here. I'm very excited about this system. I think this is sort of what I'm going to start targeting as the combat system for UnderQuest. And if you have any ideas or thoughts, please leave them in the comments below, because it's your feedback that's going to help shape this game. Thank you very much. Well, I think that went really well. Again, thanks for all the feedback and all the comments in the comment sections below. Please leave your comments. Thanks again for watching the video. I'm really excited. Before you guys go, I wanted to go show you what I got from the Game Crafter. I like to put orders in once in a while for myself for prototypes, but I also like to purchase quite a lot of games that are from other fellow indie publishers. So I got myself a copy of Mind Burners by the creator of Doom Machine, which is a great little solo dice game. He really does a great job with dice allocation type games where dice trigger different types of things on different cards. So I think this was his first game, I'm not sure, but I love his art as well. So very excited to try this one out. I also got the Brambles, which again, the art is what drew me in on this. It's also a solo game. It's got a really cool artwork, and hopefully I'm gonna get some some plays in of this and share with you guys my thoughts on it. And lastly, I got this bad boy, the Rogue Dungeon, that is quite popular amongst the solo dungeon folk, and I want to give it a try myself because that's the type of game I like to design. So I like to try to play other games that are in the same sort of genre as that. There's also Quest for the Lost Pixel. That's another game that's on my radar that my understanding is that there's going to be a crowd sale for it, so I'm waiting for that, and I will be purchasing that as well because, again, I want to not only support other indie designers, but I want to pick their brains by playing their games. Did that rhyme? I think it did. Anyways, I appreciate all of your feedback and comments in the previous episodes, and I hope that you guys continue to leave comments below, like and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. This has been a blast for me, and I hope you continue to return. Thank you.